Hi everybody, welcome to the Manifold channel. Today we're going to redo the Style Panel Quickstart video using the very latest style capabilities in Manifold. We're looking at a Manifold session here with the drawing that's open. The drawing is blank and we've specified a background color of dark gray. Let's add some points to that. Click on Create Points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. That should be enough. Click Add Record, and there we go. We see the points appear in the map using default formatting. We'll click on the Style panel to bring it up in the Contents pane, and we can see the new style controls in the Style panel. What we see here on the right side are controls that control individual style properties. For example, things like fill color, which we can change to yellow, or size, which we can change to 20 points from 5 points. This is stroke color, which is black by default. Fill color, which is that color gray by default. We can use the color picker to set that to be any color on the screen. The rotation of the point symbol and the symbol itself. There are controls here for points, lines, and areas because manifold drawings can contain points, lines, or areas. So we can set all those at once in the same style panel. And the way these work is that these are individual style properties here on the right with those buttons, and this button here on the left allows us to change all those parameters at once. If we click on that, if we click on here, we just change the symbol, for example. For example, we can change it to that symbol if we like, which is a pentagon. Now if we clicked here on the Total Style button, we have combinations of various style parameters that are all the different style properties, for example, different colors and different symbols. Or if we like, we can click on More and get the full dialog here where we get a preview of what's going to change here on the left, and we have these various controls. Here's the fill color, here's the stroke color, here's the fill color. Let's change that to say blue, or this color blue, a softer blue. We can change the stroke color to this color here, or back to black, however we prefer to change it. And then we can choose the symbol with various parameters here for different things that can be in symbols. For example, a shadow. Change the shadow to that to make a drop shadow effect. Or there, or there, or there, or there, or that. And however, we can change things however we want. So the Total Style button allows us to change all these different parameters at once. Click OK. We can see that's what it's changed. Let's bring this back to making this this color here, and let's try to follow along with what we did in the user manual where we talk about the Style Panel Quickstart example. What we're going to do is we're going to use the symbol button here to change these symbols to something other than what we see. Let's make this black though, so make that a little bit more interesting. Click on More. I'm going to remove the shadow so we can play around with various other symbols without adding a shadow. This button here is the Collections Picker. Manifold has absolutely thousands of symbols that you can use, and those tend to be grouped into different collections. The most popular ones are the standard ones here, which are a variety of symbols like this. And then there's the glyphs collection, which are all these different many glyphs. So for example, we can filter here to choose something like the cat. Let's make the cat symbol. Let's choose the cat symbol there. Click on OK, and there we have the cat symbol. Here in the Total Style button, we can change the cat symbol to make it larger. Let's do that, and let's make this round color that, and the fill color that, and let's put a shadow on it with 2-point drop shadow, and that gives us that nice effect there. If we like, we can change this 0 value to say 15 degrees to tilt that 15 degrees. Here we can not change any of the colors, but let's just change the symbol to let's use a fire extinguisher. I'm going to click in the filter button here to reduce it down to only those symbols that have the name fire in them. Fire extinguisher. And we'll use a black shadow. There, and that's the fire extinguisher. That's similar to what was used in the user manual. Okay, let's choose a different collection. Let's choose a font. So for example, we can choose a font such as the Mediocons font, which is a symbol font that has meteorological symbols. And there it is. Let's choose this guy right there. Click OK. And that's all that. Let's change the rotation back to 0. Let's talk about how to do thematic formatting. And for thematic formatting, I'm going to dial down the size a bit to, let's make it 20 points. And what should we thematic format? Let's thematic format by symbol. So to do that, we click here on the field. We choose a field. Let's choose the MFDID field. That's simply the key field for an object. Every object in manifold drawing has an MFDID number. And double click here to, I'm choosing more off screen. Let's use that symbol. And this one, let's, the dialog gets to choose this symbol. And for this one, let's choose, well, what should we choose? How about this one here? That's snow, I think. And then for the last one, let's choose something with lightning in it. That'll be that symbol there. Now when I click Update Style, that immediately updates that to use all these. If we like, we can do something like change the fill color. We can thematically format the fill color. And to do that, again, I'll use the MFDID field. I'll click on the palette button here, and I will apply a palette. I'm going to apply, again, off screen, because the dialogues are too big to fit into the video screen. I'll choose the Color Brewer Spectral Palette, and then with these colors are automatically assigned to the intervals, I'll choose Update Style, and that immediately updates the style. Let's reverse all the colors. I can Control A to choose all of them at once, and now click Reverse. Click Update Style, and that reverses the colors that are in use. Let's reverse them again. I think I like the prior arrangement a little bit better. Like that. And let's now do a thematic format for the size. And we'll do a little trick here. So we'll also use the MFDID field for the size. And what I'll do is I want to have equal intervals, and I want to interpolate between 20 points to 40 points. So let's use 40 points here. Now what I'll do is I'll Control A to click to choose all the intervals. I'll right click on the size and choose Interpolate, and that will interpolate from 20 to 40. Now when I click Update Style, the symbols will vary in size from 20 points, the smallest one, all the way to 40 points, the largest one. And you can see that as we click around on these various things, they all still continue to work. So we can still reverse just the colors alone. There are all the colors. We can force different symbols. We can change all that as much as we want. Let's go back to using a single symbol. And the way I can do that is just by clicking on this. And then back in the dialog, let's go back to using one of the glyphs. We'll use the that guy right there. Click Update Style. And now we've used all those. And let's go back to using a single fixed style as well. A fixed size, rather. So we'll do that. So these are all 20 points and those colors. And let's get rid of the drop shadow, because what I'm going to do next is not using a drop shadow. Okay. Let's see how to use a bitmapped image. So far we've looked at using how to use the standard collection, which is this, how to use glyphs, which is that. We can use a font, which we've seen how to use. That's in the Mediocons font. And we can also use images. Manifold allows you to use any bitmap image, pretty much any of them, as a point style. The image has to be less than 4 megabytes in size, or 1024 by 1024. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add images from this immense collection of stuff that we have here. So let's pick this house and Jan van Eyck, Richard III, and Zenaida. Let's do that. So import all those. So now we have all these different images, and ones that we've previously used in this session will stay remembered in this images dialog that we've added. So if we like, we can choose one of them, click OK, and all the images will turn into that. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so we can see it more conveniently. Let's choose a different image. How about this one right there? And if we like, we can add a box around this image. Boxes are elements we can add to any manifold style, point style. For example, a padding of 3 or padding of 5. Let's use a padding of 5. Let's make a stroke of 4 to make the box size. No, it's too big. Let's make a stroke of 2 to make the box size about that big. Let's use a different fill color. I've got to use a color picker color which is similar to one of the colors that appears in the image, so it'll be more balanced. No, I don't like that one. Let's use a different one. There. And let's put a drop shadow on the box. We're going to use a black for a drop shadow. Actually, let's use a real dark gray for the drop shadow, and let's make that about 2 points. Click OK. And there we put a drop shadow around the image. Note that we still have a thematic format going here for the stroke color, which we created originally. So the stroke color, which is used by default for the box, automatically is that color. If we wanted to change that, you could do so easily. So instead of using whatever the default is, we'll use, let's use this dark brown color there. Actually, I want that an even darker brown, so let's make it about like that, and let's make it a little less saturated. Click OK. And there, that's a nice effect. So this shows you how we can vary pretty much anything that we want to vary, how we can change point styles around to whatever that we want them to be. Even if we like using a image of, say, an avocado. And we'll turn off the box for that. Click OK. And you can see how the avocado image was created from a PNG, which has partial transparency to the PNG. The PNG uses transparent pixels. And part of the drop shadow here that this thing creates was built from those. You can create some really wonderful effects using drop shadows in PNG and other images that use pixel transparency. Manifold can use any image which Manifold can import as an image, and that's pretty much any raster format in existence. So there's an awful lot of sources for images. In fact, if you look at the universe of images that are 1,000 by 1,000 pixels in size, less than 4 megabytes, it's probably half the darned images in the universe that you could use as Manifold styles. So there's an awful lot of variation and ability to use those. Let me show you one of my favorites, which is the images like these for houses, which are pretty cool. I like that a lot. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. There's an awful lot to unpack here. There's a lot to experiment with here. Style is a lot of fun, so you can really get into using it. I hope you enjoy it, and come back and look at the other videos to learn how to work with points and area styles as well. Thanks for visiting, and goodbye from Manifold Land. Well, that was fun. If you want to see more, visit us at www.manifold.net. As always, Manifold delivers the world's most advanced, highest quality spatial products for GIS and DBMS at a low price that you can afford. Once again, that's manifold.net. See you soon.